Hi, welcome back. What happens when you're renting a car in North America? There was a recent article in regards of a man who is now held responsible for $82,000 after his car rental was stolen off his driveway. For those who don't know me, my name is Catherine Lee. I've been an insurance broker for the past 12 years in Ontario. The goal of my channel is to help empower you with the knowledge about insurance so that you can protect what matters most to you. This is difficult and can be stressful when you're dealing with a claim, especially for a car rental that got stolen off your driveway. To help prevent this headache, please watch this video to the end when you're renting a car, especially going on vacation. Everyone is depending on two coverages. One usually is credit card auto rental coverages, or two, their personal car insurance. I hope to share with you the differences so that you can look into it further before driving the rental car off the lot. I'll mention the good and the bad of both coverages. We are going to dive into the credit card coverages first. You might not like it. For the credit card, to be eligible for coverage, you need to actually pay for the entire rental amount on your credit card to activate coverage. That's step one, okay? Step two, you must decline the collision damage waiver with the auto rental agency. It's a two-step process that no one understands or remember. If you activate the collision damage waiver with the auto rental agency, everyone has this misconception that they have two coverages, one with the credit card and one with the auto rental agency. It does provide a false sense of having two coverages because now, if you take a look at the credit card wording, it reverts to the coverage of only paying for the deductible at the time of claim through their special wording policy. So please note, if you're using your points on the travel credit card to book the car rental, you redeem your points towards the car rental, you made a partial payment, this is where you might get caught in the wording. Please get the pamphlet with the proper wording and double check and see if you are covered if you use your rewards points during booking. To be safe, I recommend calling your credit card company and ask them, will I be covered if I booked your car rental using my rewards points and did partial payment? They will review your policies and confirm with you. Make a note of that conversation, time, and who you spoke to because you would want to use that call as reference if they decline your claim down the road. Let's say you rented a car and you paid it on your credit card for a full amount. You decline the coverages at the car rental agency. Let's say you follow those two steps. So now you have activated the car rental coverages on your credit card. What does it entail? How do you lose coverage? Here are some scenarios. When a rental car agency takes control of their car. So someone from the rental agency could pick up the car rental from you at your hotel, or you return the vehicle at the airport. The moment you hands off the key to an employee of the car rental agency, the coverage is done. Your rental period exceeds 48 days. If your credit card is past due 60 days, however, coverage can be reinstated if your credit card is in good standing. Your credit card got canceled. This happens often when you're upgrading your credit card to a higher tier. If it's in the same bank, give them a call. That way you guys can work it out in regards of coverages. For example, you booked your trip in March, but you're traveling in June. You decided to upgrade your travel credit card in May. You may need to call your bank to confirm if the coverage still exists. What is not covered under car rental insurance from your credit card? You'll be surprised. Number one, replacement vehicle. The full cost of the car. What do you mean? What if the car is stolen? It should be covered under the rental agency's policy, not your credit card. However, it is stolen while you're renting, you might be on the hook, which is in this case mentioned in the article. It depends on the car rental agreement. It defines your responsibility and the car rental agency. If you have an auto policy in Ontario that can extend to the rental car, there's conditions to be met in order for that coverage to apply. We'll be explaining it later because we're talking about credit card right now. The credit card doesn't cover replacement vehicle for your car rentals. That's one of the biggest misconceptions about car rental coverages. Now that you know, credit card card covers this benefit, but it doesn't cover much. And it's also why it's inexpensive and most often free. The coverage is so limited. Number two, it does not cover third parties' liability. Here's an example. You get into a car accident, but that third party doesn't have insurance or have very little insurance. In Ontario, if you carry an auto policy with an OPCF 44, if the judge deems your compensation should be $1 million paid by the third party, but unfortunately they don't have enough insurance or no insurance, your Ontario insurance carrier will pay it out to you and legally go after the third party. That's the benefit of having your own policy because it protects you. Unfortunately, the credit card company is simply saying, we are not going to cover you in this case if the third party doesn't have money or insurance. You're going to have to go after them with your legal team. They're not doing anything. Number 3, what they don't cover is your personal injury. This would be covered if you got emergency medical coverage. Again, revert back to eligibility. Did you charge your entire trip on your credit card? Does your credit card cover emergency medical? If yes, you don't have to worry. If no, worry a lot because you're paying for it now. I did a video covering travel insurance in details. You may want to watch that before traveling. This video is just an add-on for car rental coverages. Number 4, what they don't cover is also damage to property. Here's another big loss. You ram into someone's house, whether it's your fault or not, now you need to pay for the damages. They're not covering it. However, your personal auto policy might, just not on your credit card. Number 5, no coverage when you're driving under the influence, intoxicated, or narcotics. Well, as you probably know, any misconduct in the eyes of law, you are never covered in either policies. Number 6, if you commit any criminal act or fraudulent activities or dishonesty. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 7, wear and tear. They do not cover the mechanical or electrical breakdown, including damages caused by insects or vermin. Why is that? Well, a car rental agency is in charge of maintenance, not you. Unfortunately, if you're dealing with pests, perhaps you parked at the wrong place, wrong time, and it's not covered when you got a crazy squirrel loading up nuts into the car vents. You may have left it there for days while you're going on a cruise. It happens, and sadly, not covered. Number 8, seizure and destruction under quarantine or confiscated by the government officials. Be careful when you're traveling. If there are riots, you may not be covered if the government officials take possession of your car. Number 9, illegal trades or anything illegal conducted by you. Okay. Number 10, war, rebellion, revolution, civil war, and activities pertaining to that. Please do not park your car outside government buildings when you know there's a big protest or rebellion because a civil dispute may cause damages to your car. You saw those cars on television where they lit it up on fire. Well, now you know. You may not be covered under your credit card. Number 11, transportation of property or passenger for hire. Uber, Uber Eats, Lyft. Number 12, nuclear-related activities, including nuclear contamination or transportation. Number 13 is intentional damages caused by you. Be careful not to upset your girlfriend or boyfriend because if they spray paint your car or damage your car, it may not be covered. If you intentionally ram into someone or other cars, it's also not covered. Number 14, expenses due to diminished value of the rental vehicle. A simple example, a cat pissed in the car. Very hard to get the odor out, and now the car rental wants to charge you due to the diminishing value of the car. I would treat this car rental coverage on your credit card like it's bare minimum. I'd be lucky to get coverage based on the exclusions. So best to have your own Ontario auto policy or else get full coverage at the car rental agency. Here are the listed vehicles that are not covered under the credit card auto rental insurance. Typically, 1, vans, cargo vans, including mini cargo vans. However, minivans are safe. 2, trucks or pickup trucks. 3, limousines. 4, off-road vehicles. 5, motorcycles, moped, or motorbikes. 6, trailers, campers, recreational vehicles, or vehicles not licensed for road use. Be careful when you're renting a U-Haul trailer with a rental vehicle. 7, vehicles towing or propelling trailers. 8, minibuses or buses. 9, any vehicle with an MSRP, also known as manufactured suggested retail price, excluding taxes over $65,000 in Canadian prices. 10, exotic vehicles, meaning vehicles like Aston Martin, Bentley, Bricklin, Ferrari, Janssen, Lamborghini, Lotus, Maserati, Porsche, you know. 11. Any vehicles that are part of the limited production which gets produced under 2,500 vehicles per year. 12. Antique vehicles. You may want to look at the definition because typically it's over 20 years old and hasn't been manufactured in over 10 years. 13. Tax-free cars typically offered to tourists between 17 days to 6-month rentals with the option to buy out the car after use. That was a very long list. As you can tell, trucks or pickup trucks are on that list. That is why the credit card insurance didn't cover the $82,000 theft of a truck in the article as mentioned, because it's a listed exclusion for the type of car and the price being over $65,000. This is something you want to make sure before you drive a rental car. You could be on hook for the entire physical damage. Just know that the credit card's car rental coverage is very limited. Now let's take a look at Ontario auto policies when it comes to car rental and how take steps on how to protect yourself. Most Ontario auto insurance companies offer the option of additional coverage for liability for damage to those automobiles that you don't own. The coverage comes down in the form of an endorsement known as legal liability for damage to non-owned automobiles. It's also referred as the rental vehicle insurance endorsement or OPCF 27. If your auto insurance policy includes an OPCF 27, you already have the coverage for damage to a vehicle that you don't own, such as a rental automobile. A note to caution though, the OPCF 27 is only valid for driving non-owned automobiles in Canada and the United States. If you're driving internationally, you will have to purchase coverage elsewhere. Typically, I've seen OPCF 27 coverages are approximately $40,000 limit, which is a standard coverage. If you know you're driving an expensive car, you may need to request higher limits or make sure you get it before you rent that expensive car. Also, the auto rental agreement must be in your name. If you are the insured person named in the Ontario auto policy, it should match the named person on the car rental agreement. Another tip of caution, like I mentioned earlier, your credit card doesn't cover third parties' liability. Your auto policy would if you're driving the car in North America, which extends to USA and Canada, excluding Hawaii. If your parents own the auto policy in Ontario, but you are the person renting the car in Florida, for example, that might not work for you guys. This extension doesn't work for you because you don't own the auto policy in Ontario. Another key thing for those who wants their Ontario auto policy to extend to a car rental during travel is that your car at home cannot be used while you're on vacation. If you're expecting your liability and third parties' liability to be used on the car rental, then the car at home must be parked while you're driving on vacation. If you have an at-fault accident with a rented automobile and you are more than 25% at fault, the accident will still count against your driving record regardless who pays the damage claim. So just to recap, on an Ontario policy, if you don't own an auto policy in Ontario under your name, not someone else like your parents or siblings, you don't have the coverage for the car rental in North America. Review your OPCF 27 to see if that limit fits the car replacement cost before driving it off. If you're driving a Corolla, $40,000 is enough. If you're driving a Lexus RX 350, $40,000 may not be enough. If you know the car at home will be driven by someone else, it would be best to buy the coverage at the car rental agency. If you get into an at-fault accident that's over 25%, then it would be held against you for upcoming years, which could affect your rates. Check with your insurance broker, agent, or insurance company for more details. Always verify your coverages before declining coverages at the car rental agency. Thank you again for watching. If you have any questions, please go ahead, put that comment below. Please go and subscribe my channel so that you won't miss the next video. Bye now.